Hey, this is Mr. Mulla with a quick explanation about this quiz here. So not a lot of math actually on this quiz. Actually, I don't know if there's really any math, but you will need to explain on this quiz. So this is your first, second, third warning, however many I've given you in class. You need to explain on this quiz. If you don't, then you're going to get probably half of the things marked off. So each of the directions say explain after it. So if you're not explaining them, then you're losing points. So the first two are just asking if it is a function. So if you don't remember what that means, that would be a good time to look back at your notes and figure out what a function is, and then saying yes or no, and then why you know it is a function or not a function. 3, 4, 5 are asking for the domain and range. So there's two lines there, one line for the domain and one line for the range. I will tell you that number 4 is kind of a tricky one. So maybe think twice about what we write down for number 4. Otherwise, 3 and 5 are pretty self-explanatory, but 4 is kind of tricky because of the arrows there and what that means, versus number 5 has those dots there and what that means. 6, 7, and 8, you're saying whether the table or graph or equation is linear or nonlinear. And same thing, there's two lines there, one for you to say linear, one for you to say nonlinear, and then one for you to explain why it is linear or nonlinear. 8's kind of tricky there, just because it's not fully solved yet. So I will tell you on number 8, you need to distribute before you can tell if it's linear or nonlinear. So there's kind of your trick for 8. 9, your one graphing problem on there, graph it. Again, there's another trick on 9 here. If you notice, each of these lines usually represents 1 on a graph, but here it represents 2. So this is like 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. And then the same thing for the y-scale, 2, 4, 6, 8. So be careful when you're using your slope or you're making your table here. I gave you room to make a table. Make sure that you know that each line represents 2. So if you're graphing like 1 or 3 or 5 or 7, really you're in between these lines here, not going on the next line. And then 10, there are 4 lines because you should be writing down 4 things. It asks you 4 things. It asks you to identify the independent variable, 1, dependent variable, that's 2. Then it gives you a 50-50 chance there, and then asks if it's discrete or continuous. That's the third thing you're answering, and then explain how you know it's discrete or continuous. So I see a couple, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 problems where you need to explain. This quiz I think is 27 points, so 6 out of 27. So if you just write down yes or no for those things, you're going to be losing some points if you're not explaining. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.